already there. This year has gone so fast. There is a lot that has gone on this year in the club, and we'll review some of those in just a few minutes. But first, I would like to know, is there anyone new that this is your very first time here at one of our club meetings? Stand up and we'll introduce very first time. Stand up.
So I'm Mark Vanderdoes, KU7MV.
Are you Dan?
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Nice to meet you. So anyway, I've registered, but I've never been in town, so.
Well, welcome. Very happy to have you here. Go ahead.
I guess that's me, right?
Yep.
Kelly Indihar out of Clinton. Just got my tech license back in October. I'm almost done with the general course.
Awesome.
So we take the test maybe February.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Jim Rotalic, KK7 at Alpha Yankee Delta. I'm out of Layton. Just got my tech license about a month ago.
Awesome.
At the best VE sessions in the state, right?
That's right. Best VE sessions of the state. Awesome. Well, welcome to our new members visiting us for the first time. We're grateful to have you here. We've got all kinds of great things in store for next year, so hold tight. Anyone that has upgraded their license since our last meeting? Anyone? See, this is what happens when we don't have classes. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and open up with some announcements. I know that Joe's got one, and then we'll open it up to everybody else. Joe?
Hi guys, welcome back. Ron Wilcox, whose call escapes me, lives out in the northwest part of the county, has been a very, very good boy this year. And Santa's bringing him a new HF radio, a new Telecraft. And he has a K3S that he is going to be, I saw Ted perk up here, that he wants to relieve himself of. He says he doesn't really want to put it online and sell it. He's willing to sell it locally at a heavy discounted price when you find it online to somebody who's either starting or wanting to step up. So an excellent, excellent radio. I think it's got all the bells and whistles known around. So
Define what it is.
it's a HF rig, domestically made. I think probably one of the very few domestically made HF rigs. A lot of the DXers, this is the radio that they use in contests. It's a top of the line rig. They're made out of Monterey Bay, that neck of the woods down in California, right? Oh, heck no. Yeah. Anyway, anybody's interested, let me know and I'll get you hooked up with it.
Great, thank you.
I'm gonna go look for license books.
All right, yeah, announcements. I know you've got an announcement.
I bought some little pie boxes, and I'd like to know what I got a hold of. So if somebody knows pie, get with me. I brought them with me, and I bought an MFJ 1020C tuner yesterday at a estate sale with an antenna, and I'd like to know what the antenna is. And I got them for $25, and the tuner is $65 on eBay. So I got a good price there, but I'm very curious what the antenna is. So if somebody knows antennas, please get with me. I brought it also.
Awesome. Any other announcements? Please for help. Best wishes.
Renews, everybody that wants to renew, please use Ham Club Online. It makes my job so much better. It gives us a really great structure as far as knowing where our money is. It's fantastic.
And if you need help logging into Ham Club Online, if you haven't done that before or forgot your password, let any of us know. We're happy to help. We are very, very fortunate with that web process application. It's actually a ham radio operator that has actually built the thing. And he built it because he always wanted to build something. And because in all the clubs he had been in for years and years and years, everybody was always trying to figure it out and having to go through binders and books and everything else to try to remember what's going on. And he knew he could do a better thing. And so at this point, he is offering that to clubs for no cost. And it has helped us out so much. And so much. Better communication, better management of our records for membership and all that. So please, jump in there. This next year, we're going to have a bigger push to use things in there like the skills that we all have, so we can have a catalog of what we know what to do and how to do it. We'll also be using that for our Elmers to be able to hook up the right Elmer with the right people, hopefully in the right areas. And so Have Club Online is a great resource that we've been able to utilize. Any other announcements?
I guess I should promote TechNet.
Please do.
You've seen it up on the screen, and especially for our new operators. Join us on Tuesday evenings, 8 o'clock, on the 04 repeater. If you need help getting that programmed, there's a whole bunch of us that can help you with that. We have a lot of experienced folks that participate too, and the whole idea is to get your questions answered, just have a great time together. And this Tuesday, we're gonna talk about all the things no one tells you that you're supposed to know. So it might be a great time
Is that radio specific?
Yes, that is radio specific. We don't want to end up in this building.
Because, I've got, a 21-year-old right now that I need all the advice I can give on. So if anybody wants to offer that, I'd be happy to talk to you. All right, anything else for the group as a whole before we jump into the business of today? All right. Well, with that, if you come up with something, feel free to stop me. We'll go ahead and turn the time back over to you for announcements. So as is the tradition of our club, in the December meeting, we elect officers for the next year. And so that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'll turn the microphone over to Alan. He's going to run our elections today. Now, I'm going to warn you, he doesn't have a big stick, but he's got rules. We will be going through each position one by one, so please don't call for just a vote for the existing officers. We're doing it one at a time. And so we'll turn the time over to Ellen.
Thanks, Larry. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's that fun time of year again. And I guess we'll start with president and then go on down the line. Can I get a nomination for president? Somebody nominate Larry so we can go.
Second.
Okay, a nomination and a second. Is there any other nominations?
Is anybody crazy enough?
Larry.
Or short enough.
Larry.
Or short enough, yeah. Or have less hair enough. I don't know, I think that's what it takes, right?
Something like that.
Something, okay. All those in favor of Larry being president for another year, raise your hand. Oh, looks like it passed. Can I get a nomination for vice president? Currently is Joe, so somebody wants to, he has agreed to run again, so if you want to nominate Joe or somebody else. Okay, I have a nomination for Joe in a second. Any other nominations for vice president? Okay. I guess we'll vote on vice president now. All those in favor?
Has he got anybody on Zoom over there?
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Looks like Joe's back in.
Did he ever leave?
Yeah, he's gone now. See, he's And then Gary is our current treasurer. He's agreed to run again. Can I get a?
I move that we, Gary Johnson, treasurer.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Several seconds. Okay, any other nominations for treasurer?
Might be noted, he's done a very good job for us.
Okay, all those in favor of Gary being a treasurer for another year? Thanks. And then we have a secretary. Our current secretary is Craig, way back in the back. Hi, Craig. And do I have a nomination for Craig?
Hold it.
No, Craig doesn't want to run? He's not
I
gonna.
don't want to keep,
Oh, you wanted to see if anybody else will nominate somebody else first?
well,
Okay. Is there any nominations for secretary?
Clyde has one.
Tom McCurdy.
Okay. John McCurdy. Is there a second for that? Okay. Stand up, John, so everybody can see.
Tom.
Tom McCurdy.
Tom. Sorry.
You know
Okay.
what you're getting yourself into, Tom?
He's told me all about it.
Yeah, well, Craig tells a lot of
It's more
things to
fun than you
people.
believe.
He was a dentist, and have you ever heard your dentist? No, this won't hurt. Right. Right, yeah. I don't know how much you should believe Craig.
He
That's
says
from
he's
the
down to the
era where they have the steel wire drill.
Okay, are there any other nominations for secretary?
Our original.
Oh, Craig. Craig said he wasn't gonna run, didn't want to run if somebody else wanted to get a nomination, so he declined.
I highly recommend Tom.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of Tom, raise your hand. Being elected as secretary. Okay? Thank you. And I think that's everybody, right?
Does he have an assistant?
No, he doesn't have an assistant. Yeah, Craig will be his assistant. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so now it's time for the fun part, and that's taking some tickets and putting them in envelopes and making everybody wonder what's going to happen at the end of the meeting.
Hey, should I get the puller of the tickets?
Please.
The official puller of the
The
tickets?
official, beautiful
She's
puller
been-
of the tickets.
She's been doing it for 15 years.
That's right. So, we've got some great prizes this year. Let's give a hand to Anne. She has donated this beautiful quilt for our opportunity drawing, so let's give her a hand for that.
You donated the orange.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Yeah, something tells me somebody would tackle you for that. All right, so while we're waiting for Gary's beautiful spouse to come this way, I do have some thank yous I'd like to throw out there and get some acknowledgement from the club. Because the club doesn't work by itself. I'm being told to keep going. All right, so this is perfect. Let me get to my list. Our club does not work by itself. It takes a lot of work and a lot that people don't always see. I'm the lucky one. You get to see what I do. I talk a lot. I walk around a lot. I shake a lot of hands, so you get to see me. But I want to recognize the people that actually are doing things in front of and behind the screen that keeps us going.
First thanks should go to Davis County Sheriff's Department.
Absolutely, yes. We have a great partner in Davis County Sheriff's Department, letting us use the facility not only for our meetings, but also to store a lot of our gear. And so let's go ahead and give Davis County a round of applause, and I'll let John know we did that. Okay, so we're going to take a timeout here and turn the time over to these two beautiful first that we're hiding.
The raffle.
All right, the raffle. I believe it. I'm not doing drum roll.
You guys trust me with all your money. All right. Okay, KJ. Seal it up.
Yummy.
Now we'll open this later. I'm taking donations.
Okay, put one in each one of those, Gareth. Mix them up good. Mix them up.
Oh, one fell out, let's put it back
We're
in.
doing two.
Yeah, we're doing two. Put one in there. Okay, one in there. And seal them up. Put them back in the May and Jay's jar.
If Ann wins the quilt, who gets it?
Ann can pick anybody she wants if she wins the quilt.
All right, that's all it's sealed up.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, now here's where the rest of
Good
the
luck,
board goes.
everybody.
All right, so let's.
This one does.
Sorry, Joe's making me laugh back there. You know, somebody stop him. All right, so if you're here, let's stand up and allow the club to recognize you and your participation in keeping things running. I want to recognize Alan, who has been our repeater dude for a long time and our trustee. He's keeping us going. He's going to have an announcement about our repeater. Our field day chair this year and for many years has been Roy Rasband. Is he here today? No, he's not. So
He's normally always here.
so let's give him a hand if he's online. So now this guy he really does a lot for us. I mean, everybody does, but we have Joe Gerardo, who is not only the VP and has been for a little bit, he also tends to drag things around in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning when all of a sudden we didn't know we needed to drag something somewhere. He's also our VE chair, and so he puts together all of the testing sessions. And I've been to a number of testing sessions over my time in ham radio, and he runs a great ship. I mean, he does a good job. So we've got Joe for that, and then if all the people that are part of the VE team, if you please stand up so we can acknowledge you and what you do. And let's give these people a hand. All right, thank you. So along with that, we also have our PIO, Dan. Where are you? You're here, you're in the back. So let's give him a hand. His next year's going to be a lot busier, he doesn't know yet. And then we've got Hall, who keeps our war wagon going. I mean, that thing is so equipped and ready to go, and I promised him he gets new chairs, and so we're getting him new chairs. And so let's give Paul a round of applause. And then new this year, we've got 2 new positions that have opened up, and people have graciously walked right into volunteering to take care of that. We've got our TechNet coordinator, which is Craig, and we've also got our videographer who's doing all this online stuff, and that's Mike Williams. So Craig, Howell, Mike Williams, if you'll stand up. Keeping us all connected. And then along with that, we have all of our committee members that are helping out. We've got people that are helping out with the War Wagon. We've got people that are helping out with the VE team, which we've talked about. We've got people that are helping out with Field Day, and on and on and on and on. You guys are the ones that make this club keep going. And I tell you, every time I get an email or a telephone call asking for help, I know we have the help out there available to us, and somebody always steps up. So I just want to thank everybody for everything you do to keep us going. All right, with that, yes, sir.
Who's heading the mesh up?
Well, the mesh is an interesting topic. Brent, you want to talk about mesh any? You get to take off your mask if you're talking.
Well, we'd like to stimulate more people to get more interest. We've done a little bit since COVID happened. Everything slowed down a whole lot. We do have one pending project that we're just waiting for some parts to finish it. The animal control up in Fruit Heights area. There's two gig systems up there, and one UHF, or not UHF, but 5 gigs that goes out to the island. We're just waiting for a switch, smart switch to put in there to finish that project up. Plus, bit to terminate some cables. The original cables was cut, so we had to add some new ones in there. Actually, Brandon Rasmussen is the committee chair, and he's not here today, but he does have a really nice Christmas demonstration down there in Woods Cross, so you might go down and see that. It's got video, audio, and everything. It's really neat. After dark, yeah, it's really impressive after dark. But anyway, anybody's interested in mesh, I do put out notes on the mesh chat every Thursday night on the net. It gives all the notes for everything that's discussed on the net, so you can see what's going on. People that are not checking into the net regularly on mesh do come on and look at it afterwards, so they get the information of what's happening on the net. Yeah, the sheriff's office here is connected up to it, as well as Clearfield, and we're working on some of the other cities. I think we just pending some other information. We've got some new equipment that needs to be installed.
Yeah, I know Layton City has it.
Layton City, okay. Anyway, so it's slowly progressing, but with COVID, everything just kind of come to a crawl. We don't get together often enough to make it happen.
And you need a tower climber.
Well, we have one that's doing pretty good. His name is Ty. I can't remember his last name. Gary Davis is a friend of his, and he's come and did a little work for me, and we got some new equipment installed. So anyway, we do have somebody that's doing that. Valley Parks has helped out a little bit too. So anyway, thanks everybody. Dave, you have
We do
something?
have several nodes in the Layton West area.
Layton West is Heidi covered, a little bit about Florida. We do have, generally speaking, we'll have up to about 12 members checked in on Thursday night net. So there's a little bit more than that that's out there, but they're kind of off and on. Typically, we'll have around 89 check in. But anyway, anybody else is interested, right, get a hold of some of us, will help you get online. It's not really expensive, and it's kind of fun.
Thank you. All right, so just a couple more things before we get to homebrew. One person that I would like to acknowledge are affiliated organizations that help us out with Davis County Sheriff's Department and others really are instrumental, but someone that does a lot of work for our members and throughout the community is our Aries people, especially, most specifically, Joan Rapp. She's not here today, I don't see Joan, but she has done amazing things to keep all that going. And so I would be remiss for not recognizing her and all the work that she's done. So let's give her a hand. All right, and so we're almost there. We've got two more pieces of business. First off, we're going to turn the microphone over to Mel. He's got a VHF Society announcement for us, and then we'll go to our treasurer to tell you how our books are this year.
Thank you, Larry. For those of you who may not know, we have been able to organize, and we are going to conduct the VHF Society swap meet in February. We're really pleased to have that come back. Many of you have missed it. Well, I have too. It promises to be a better event than we've ever had. We have a large number of members. Just so you know, we've encouraged people to register early so you don't have to wait in line to pay your dues. We've had over 500 people pay their dues already. So please pay your dues early, and I guess either way you might have to wait in line. I didn't expect so many people to renew their dues. If you haven't renewed your dues, please feel free to drop by and see me after the meeting, and I can work with you to get that done. Another important announcement is many of you may have heard of the Digital Communications Conference. That is coming back this year. They're going to have that on the 12th of February. That'll be 2 weeks before the VHF Society swap meet. So it's a wonderful meeting. They do a lot of neat digital communications discussions, and there'll be presentations on mesh and other digital activities. So put that on your calendar. And I also want to thank all of the members of the VHF Society who have supported us. This year we've spent over $20,000 of your dues upgrading and fixing repeaters. And in the next few weeks, we're going to make a very interesting announcement that will be really a big plus, because we'll be able to upgrade some of the key nodes of the VHF Society repeater intertype sites. We'll be upgrading Farnsworth Peak completely, a complete change out of equipment, and also part of Snowbird. And we look forward to doing a lot more work next year. So thank you again for all of your support, and I really appreciate you letting me have some time to talk to you.
You know, it works better when it's snowing.
It does work better when it's snowing.
It's all yours. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Gary Johnson, N7DND, and I'm your treasurer. And one of the things that I do all during the year is keep track of your money. It's at American First Credit Union is where it's at, and we try to do a really good job of keeping track of it. Okay, at the top you're seeing where we made our income. It was these are the things that we get: dividends, we get dues, we have CD interest, and store income. As you can see, we did really good as far as things go, considering all of the things that have been going on, and COVID and all this other stuff that's going on. So we did really good. We had thanks to Joe, he brought in an estate sale, and we had a really good time in September. For all you that know that not only February we do a swap meet, we also do one in September every year, the third Saturday, and it's a tri-club. UARC and OARC generally always comes and joins us. OARC loves it because it's their club meeting. It takes care of one of those things. Okay, now we can all see. All right, that's where our income comes from, and we did fairly well this year to income.
Gary?
Yes, sir.
For other sources of income like the Smiles program from Amazon, where does that fall into our income buckets?
You know, I haven't went and pulled that yet. I do it in the last of November when I do it, and that would come under probably, I'd have to have that as a separate category. But I have not pulled it this year. We did pretty good last year. Alan brought that to my attention a couple of 3-4 years ago, and that really helps. Okay, expenses. License plates on the trailers, that kind of stuff. We do a commercial license every year. In fact, I've got it already. It's $10 a year. We do that. Those kind of things are up there, and that I do every year. We have an email site, K7DAB@ARRL, and all of our email come to me at this point. If I'm not a treasurer, it'll go to the other people, but that's important. Club functions, I have to get up bright and early on the first Monday of January and go down to Bountiful City, because that's where we get our parks for our swap meets and for other things. And then early in the 1st of March, Mr. Lund and I go down to Centerville City, because he's a member, and he's also part of Centerville City. He's a resident, so we get everything for half price. That's why I go do Bountiful, because we get it for half price. It saves us 50%. So we go down and we get the thing that we do in Centerville for the Elmer Fest. The Elmer Fest, we have the club picnic every year. It is in Smoot Park, and we go ahead and we re-rent those things. So, post office, that is getting to be completely ridiculous and out of control. $200 for the post office box, 763 Bountiful, Utah. Unbelievable. Those guys.
Gary, do we share that with the VHF Society?
No, they have their own. It's right. It's only this far away from it right now. It's
Yeah,
not very far, but it's there, and I'm not sure what your post office box is.
Yeah.
So, and field day, I wrote a check to Roy. We have our normal insurance that we pay every year. It's a $1 million rider. If somebody falls down or gets hurt or whatever, we have to pay that. It's to a company through the ARRL. The radios we give away, the door prizes, all that kind of stuff is there. We had a big expense this year that we haven't had before. I got a call from John at the sheriff's office, and the repeater was going down, and
I can't believe those batteries only lasted for, I think we talked about it, 14, 15 years. Really, give us a break. But he asked us if the cost was like $5,000. I got the exact information in the folder. But he asked us if we'd go thirds with the state of Utah and the sheriff's department. And so we paid a third of it. And it cost us, as you can see on the thing there, almost $2,000 for the batteries. So that was a third of the cost. So we talked it over as officers and sent out some emails and stuff. And we decided that seeing as they give us this great place and support us and do everything they do, that we would continue the site on the island and all a ton of stuff they do for us, that we would be more than happy to go ahead and do that. So that shot Alan's repeater completely. You've got no more money this year, Alan. You used it all. Okay. War wagon, we didn't spend any money on, and store supplies, we didn't spend any money on until just about a week ago, and it'll be on next year's. And we bought some wire and stuff, so it's back there. So, going down to the bottom, this is the monies that we have for me to use for the club. In the store account, inventory, the club checking, the club savings. I keep these two things separate because everybody wants me to, and I do. We have two accounts out there. Club checking is for everyday use. I keep the savings. I make sure that the checking account generally never has more than $500 in it. I swept it about a week ago, and that way, because they are debit cards and somebody can take money from us. So I keep the amount down there unless somebody needs to break a purchase. The store checking account, you can see there, it's now down to $500. I swept it and put it up there. You can see what was in it before I did that. And then our CD that sits there that's still 2 years away from renewing itself. So anyway, that's how much our club has in its possession at American First Credit Union. And so if anybody wants to see detail for all of this, you need to make an appointment with me. Come over to my shack and I'll open up the books if you're a member of Good Standing, and you can look at anything you want. It's complete there. So God knows I have enough people wander in and out of the shack. That's good. That's all good. So do I have any questions from anybody? Anything I can do better? This gentleman over here?
Yes, I noticed we have a large amount of money available, and yet there's no money for Alan and his repeaters.
John, sorry, Al. He'll be in the budget for next year. Yeah, we're out. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I've talked enough. There you go, big guy.
Thank you. So we have done phenomenally well the last couple of years. COVID has helped with those bottom lines, of course. But because of Gary and watching these accounts so closely, he knows everything that's going in and out. He has really kept the club very healthy. And so let's give him a round of applause for his work. Over the last number of years, he's lightened up and let us buy some things too, so that's been really helpful too. All right, so now let's get on with the good stuff. Let's talk about our homebrew. This is your chance to show off what you've done this year or what you're planning on finishing up just in time for Christmas to put under the Christmas tree. Absolutely. And so one of the homebrew things that the club is actually working on, and we have Joe and Gary to thank for this, is we are going to complete a project in the first quarter of next year of a go box that has an HF rig in it. The radio came from the estate sale or the estate that was donated to us, that we sold a lot of that during the swap meet. But the rig didn't sell, and it was like, aw shucks. So between Joe and Gary, they're putting it together in a box for us with power supplies and all that happy stuff. We've got is it a buddy pole or
buddy pole?
A buddy pole that will be around with it. It will be something that's very easy for us to be able to pick up and deploy whenever we need it, especially at special events or at meet and greets, or if we want to show it off to a bunch of kids for Scouts or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whatever Scouts. It'll all be there and available for us to check out and deploy whenever we need to. So that is a wonderful asset that we're going to have very shortly. When it's ready and good to go, it's going to look something like this Go box here that Gary put together. We'll show it off at a club meeting and explain how everybody can check it out and use it. Absolutely. So that's a great thing. Any questions about the HF rig, or are we all excited that we're going to have it available? I think possibly. The time over. Did you want to show off your box?
I could show it off.
So we're going to start with Gary, and then after Gary, somebody jump up and show off what you brought to us. And don't be shy about asking questions on how they did it.
Well, my box here is portable. I put it together. Originally, this is 6.0. I made 6 of these, number 6. And every time I do it, I find that I want to lighten it up because it's just too heavy. The original one was in a big, much bigger box and had much heavier batteries. And this box, you can come by and take a look at it when you get ready to go. But it will do UHF, VHF. It'll do fusion. There's a hotspot part of it. It'll run, it's got a 100 amp hour battery in it, lithium ion, and you can use earphones or whatever you want. We've deployed it a number of times, and it works really well. It can be recharged. But come by and take a look at it. And the HF box, I've got all the parts, I just haven't put them together yet. So I'm able to curl a buddy pole, and that's really cool. We were able to get that along with Joe. So we will be able to go ahead and put that together soon. But anyway, you can come and take a look at it, and that's about it. It's just fun to build.
Did it get used like on field day, or?
It's my grab and go box. I've used it with Bountiful City with the wind and the rain and the fires and stuff. I've taken it and used it a bunch of different places, but I can throw this in the back of my truck and plug it in on the side over here, and I can actually run it to a remote antenna or to one on top of the roof or whatever. But it'll run. I've had it running for 2 days. It's been running, not transmitting, but it's been running for 2 days doing its thing. So anyway, I know that it'll last that long. Just listening, if nothing else.
Yeah. All right. Let's have here with what Mike's got to show off for us today.
I've got a couple little kits I put together, plus a couple of hints and kinks. Those are always fun. I'll start off with one of those. We see a lot of these around Christmas time, right? And we end up discarding them, whatever. A standard roll of electrical tape drops right into these, and they're great to grab and peel off.
That's a cool idea.
Anyone use a rosin core flux still when they're soldering? Yeah. Isn't it messy, gooey, sticky? That's what you should be using. It's really, really nice stuff. It looks like that, very clear, water soluble, there's nothing left over that can damage the circuits like a rosin core flux. You gotta get it all cleaned off or it'll eat it over the time. What I wanted to point out though was this bottle that I have it in. You can get them on eBay for about $1, and they are empty nail polish bottles, and they come with a little brush inside, which is so nice to apply your flux to your.
Steal them from your wife?
These are empty. You can get them in plastic or glass.
So Mike?
Yes?
What's the liquid? What is the big bottle? What's in it?
That is solder flux.
Where do you get the big bottle?
Where did you buy it?
I bought that off of Amazon. And I was trying to find, I've used this stuff over the years in the RF industry, building prototypes and circuits and things. And they normally want it in almost like a 55-gallon drum when they sell it. And it's hard to find it in smaller sizes, but that's like a lifetime supply, this 1 liter bottle. And thank you to the nail polish people. They also have these dispensers that the cap actually locks, but you can rotate it one way, and then as your pump action, it'll fill up with your fluid. This one, I keep isopropyl alcohol in. I have another one at home that I keep acetone in, and these are acetone friendly. They don't have any problems, but you can lock them, put the cap on them, and they don't spill. And to fill them, get, little funnels work really well. A funnel set for just a couple of dollars.
Harbor Freight.
Yep. Speaking of Harbor Freight, this stuff is awesome. This is their marine grade shrink tube. It's not only shrinks 3 to 1 instead of your standard 2 to 1 that shrink tube does, but lined on the inside of it is kind of a hot glue. And so as you warm it up and shrink it, the glue melts and it creates a watertight, chemical tight kind of seal on it. Anyway, $6, you get a year's supply of that stuff. Okay, I think I'm down to my kids now. They had these at the last VHF Society swap meet. One club had these kits together. You have to buy your own fuses, but it wasn't that expensive. I can't remember how much they were.
They had it, I believe, for about $25 unassembled.
Yeah.
And about $35 assembled.
Anyway, just a great little rig runner substitute.
You think you've got time to do it?
What I've been spending my time on recently, though, this is a sound card interface for kind of like let's see.
Signal Link,
Yeah,
Like a TNC?
except that's a really good one.
yeah. This is so I can experiment with Vera FM. For those that don't know what that is, it's just a standard. It's got a lot of parts on it. It took a while to stuff it and get it done. Vera FM will allow someone to run like a packet mode radio. Instead of 1200 bits per second like we're used to, it can go up to as much as 25,000 bits per second on the same channel width that you can use packet radio on right now. It's endorsed by WinLink, and anyway, I'm going to start introducing this and experimenting with this in Davis County and see, probably on an alternate frequency, because it's not compatible at all with packet radio. It's a whole separate animal. But yeah, and it will run a lot more than that. It'll run all your sound card, FD8 and all that stuff, VHF, UHF, FM, whatever. And I made the label for it. So one end has the mini DIN 6 that will tie right into your most back radios now. Modern radios have that little DIN connector that you can plug into. And the other end just is a standard USB. And then you let your computer do the rest. That's all I have. Any questions?
What was that we got the license for?
Vera FM does have a license see if you want to use the fastest modes. And, what was it, $65 for an individual per call sign.
Right.
So whatever modes I want to run with my call sign on as many radios as I want to set up, just one fee for life will cover that. Yeah. Any other questions? In the back.
So, how would you feel about selling us half of your lifetime supply to the bookstore of them drugs?
You know, I thought about getting a dozen bottles of these nail polish bottles and fill them up and have them available, and that's a possibility.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Sell them for $20 in each?
It's about $21 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mike? Oh, yeah, we got a few. We've got Paul and then Alan.
Mike, have you used the Flux pens?
I don't think so.
Okay, they're about the size of a standard marker pen, but it has a little absorbing type, wick,
Yeah.
not a wick, but, and it has a little bit of a valve on it. You push the thing in once and it will allow some flow of flux to the surface of the pen. And so it's really good.
I've seen them, I've just not used
Yeah.
them.
In fact, I've been using them on a little N-scale model railroad to tie the sections together using section tracks
Oh, yeah.
in a small soldering iron, and it works really well for placing it there with, so it's a little more control with the brush and whatever you like that, so.
Thank you. In the back, there was a question. Alan?
On the Vera FM box, do you get that through them or?
No, there's a company that sells these, Masters Communications, and they sell the kits to put these together. They were originally designed for all-star analog radio links, and then they switched over to making them available for digital mode. They enhanced them quite a bit. They're a little bit more bandwidth, audio bandwidth than your standard, the sound card interface. Anyway, it's very robust, and that's why it's recommended. But there are some Vera FM sound card modems done. You can find them on YouTube for as little as $5, and just cutting cables apart and soldering a couple components on there, and away you go. I don't know how well they work.
How much was that one that you bought?
I want to say about $70, something like that.
So let's give Mike a round of applause. And we'll bring out Matt.
I'll leave this stuff up here.
Disagree with the raffle, Mike.
Okay, this year I went down a little rabbit hole with batteries. I was following a solar guy online, and he showed a way to be able to make your own batteries by ordering them online. And so I went and kind of followed a little bit of what he did, and I built this guy right here. And you can come up here later and see it. I've rated it out very conservatively. I've been able to draw 98.7 amp hours out of it. So you can get the whole amp hours out of it. I was looking at it more for my trailer. My golf cart batteries that I have 2 golf cart batteries in my trailer. And I did the same test on them, and I was only able to pull like 92 amp hours out of them. This thing weighs 17 pounds just for the batteries alone. My golf cart batteries. They're about 60 pounds each, and there's 2 of them. So the savings on weight, when I go and actually build the one for my trailer, I'm going to build a bigger one for my trailer. I'd like to do about a 200 amp hour one for my trailer. It's got a BMS built into it. If you don't know what a BMS is, it's a battery management system. So it allows it to, it'll charge the batteries, and it will also watch as it discharges. So as the batteries discharge, you have to cut off that voltage so you don't go too low in the cells, or else you damage the cells. And you don't want to go too high. It'll also cut off at the high, as well as temperature-wise. You can't charge them when they're too hot, or the batteries can't get too hot, and you can't charge them when they're too cold. It has to be above freezing.
Do you have a fan built in?
I do not. They don't emit any
No, for
gases.
cooling.
You have a
Oh, for
BMS?
cooling? The BMS will just automatically turn it off when the temperature's out of specs. And it's up to you to get it back into specs. The other neat thing about this, and the ones on the front row will probably be able to see it, it has a little app. It's Bluetooth. So I can see what the battery level is in it right now. It's showing, I use this on Halloween. We put an inverter in the back of my car. I use this to do 2 fluorescent lights and another light. And I was drawing about 12 amps out of it. And I only did, I'm down to 92.4. And I have not charged it since Halloween. It holds its charge very, very well. If you know anything about lithium iron phosphates, they hold their voltage pretty steady, and then it drops off at the very, very end. Again, the battery is really, really nice. I put Andersons on it because, I want to power the radios. That was the main thing. I love these little connectors. But you're welcome to come up here and look at it. The BMS, I 3D printed a holder for it. I haven't got it completely mounted in here the way I want it, but I've got it pretty close to how I want it. Question?
What's the approximate build cost?
Yeah. The batteries themselves, each battery, including shipping, well, for the 4 batteries was about $250. And then the BMS was about $80 for the BMS. Wow. If you go and buy them, they do have these kits that are already built all together. There's a drop-in replacement for like an RV battery, but you're looking at about anywhere from $750 to $900. And the $900 ones, they come with heaters, so if the battery is too cold, they'll actually heat up the battery before it'll allow it to charge. Questions?
Is the heater on at 12 volts also?
It is. It runs on that same the same input voltage. Your voltage that you need to have to charge the lithium iron phosphate is 14.6 volts.
Truck power.
Yeah, pretty much truck power. Yeah.
So these hold their 12.2 volts or so there to basically till the charge is down, so the cutoff voltage is still in 12 volt range.
It's typically right around 13.2 volts for the entire time, and then when it drops off really, really fast.
So normal battery ratings are generally down to their cutoff around 10 volts or so if you look at their specs. So.
I can't remember the cutoff. Maybe this will show me what the cutoff that I have for it. But the cutoff on these is a little bit less than that. It's right around 11.3 volts or 11.5 volts. It's right around in that area. I can't remember what.
Most radios probably would hang in there with that voltage, but not much more below. So that's good. You can get like that full capability.
When you do your flooded cells or your AGMs, their voltage drop is pretty steady, and this one's really, really flat. Even the charge voltage, when you put it up to charge it, it's really, really flat until the very, very end, and then it'll spike up. The chargers on these, the way they work, if you need to supply the right voltage, And then once it reaches that voltage, then you need to start watching the amps. You don't want to let it go above that voltage, but you watch the amps. Once the amps drop off and fall down to something small, then you drop it down into a maintenance mode.
So that's all handled by.
The BMS does everything for you.
I'm surprised at the cost, that, with these, iron phosphate batteries, you go out to buy one with that sort of ampacity, and you're a lot more costly than what you've got there.
Yeah,
So-
the prismatic cells are fairly inexpensive to get from China. It took 4 months for me to get my batteries. They sat in the Port of Los Angeles for quite a while.
Yeah. What YouTuber did you follow?
It's Will.
Will Prowse.
Yeah, he is absolutely awesome. He's out of Las Vegas, and he does a really good job at explaining everything. He does this and also solar, but he'll take batteries apart. He will take lithium iron phosphate batteries, and he'll cut them apart to see what's inside of them. And he's
See
caught.
how well they're built.
Yeah.
And everything.
He's caught a
Prices
couple
have
of them
really
on
been
fire.
coming down too, so.
Yep.
You mentioned it had a charge controller. Does that mean it would interface to a solar panel and you could recharge it with a solar panel?
Actually, yes. All you got to do is plug it on to here, and you can.
Then feed that
Yeah.
to your.
Because the solar controller will, or the solar panels themselves, they usually open voltage is around 19 to 21 volts, somewhere right around there.
But if you had the solar controller, then feed that there, you'd be able to recharge.
Absolutely. Yep.
What's the source of supply?
To supply power back into
Where
it.
you got this stuff?
Alibaba was where I got I got both the BMS and the batteries from Alibaba. The BMS came really fast. It came within like 7 days. But because lithium's, that you can't fly them at all, especially that size, you have to go ground and also cargo ship.
Is there a certain name or brand or something you're looking for on?
Prismatic cells.
Prismatic?
Yep. Yep. If you want to build one, I would recommend you go out and look for Will
Prowse.
Will Prowse Solar.
Prowse or Prowse?
Prowse.
That's correct. Yep. And he's the one I kind of modeled everything after, but then I put my own connectors on. At the cord right here, this is an extension cord. So.
Well, it depends on how much ampacity you want through
Yeah.
How many amps you want to pull through that.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to do a whole lot. But again, my trailer, I'm gonna put a lot bigger stuff in the trailer. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Let's give him a hand. All right, who else has something to share? All right, come on up. And if anybody else wants to hang out over here, you can be the next person up in line. So.
This is our show and tell. Some of you have never seen a real ham radio. This is a kit. I actually built this some years ago. It's from Dave Benson, Small Wonder Labs. I think he's out of business, but they may still be available. This is a 30-meter CW QRP rig with batteries in it. And it was fun putting it in a ham can.
Do you cook that at 325?
Right. Eating the ham was the best part. But it actually works. We've got it tuned. And this is the board for a Mubitix or Ubitix kit. The guy in India makes these. They're available. They come pretty much done. But this is, I bought this some years ago before I moved up here to Utah. And my grandson Calvin and I started looking at this, and online we found out that the early versions of this have too many harmonics. So there's some modifications And Calvin's been learning how to solder and desolder. We had to replace these relays. And we've got a couple of toroids over here that we took out, and we're putting in some inductors that I bought from Israel. It was hard to find. You get surface mount ones now, but to find some we could put in easily took me a while to get them from Israel. But
So what does that board do?
this is it's a 10 to 80 meter SSB and CW transceiver. It puts out about 8 watts. It's supposed to vary, from what I read, it varies depending on the band. Some of them put out 10 watts or some a little less than 8.
Could you use the microphone?
Yes.
Might help.
Oh, could I use it?
Would you?
Sure, I'll use, yeah, this is an 8 to 10, or 80 to 10 meter QRP rig, single sideband and CW. And it comes with a little microphone kit that we have yet to put together.
Other than soldering for the relays, did you put in sockets where you can change them when they go bad?
We did not. We'll have to resolder them. In fact, Goose desoldered them for, we were having a heck of a time getting them, the old ones desoldered. Bob Gooseberry, who most of you know, kindly desoldered them, and we put in some new ones. This
Here's
is
the guy we're gonna miss, because he's moving to Michigan.
right. He's about gone.
Yeah.
This is the enclosure. I bought this. There are all kinds of them. You can 3D print your enclosure, whatever you want. It comes with a 2-line LED readout, and now again online there are all kinds of modifications. So we bought a 3.5-inch touch screen thing and an enclosure to fit that with, and when we get we're now at the stage where we just have to put the connecting wires to it. If any of you have built one of these, we're gonna need some help, because I have no idea how to download the driver for.
Is that a Nexium?
Yeah, it's a Nexium thing, so we're gonna have to upgrade that. When I bought the kit, I thought, well, this is easy, it's already put together, but more work than I thought. But it's fun, and Calvin's learning how to solder. Any questions? These things are still available. They're up to about version 6 now, so you don't have to do the mods on them, on the new version, and they sell online. This was about $75 for the kit. And it's fun.
Thank you. All right, who else has some stuff to show off? Anyway? Yes. And then we'll go you, and then we'll go home, okay?
Many years ago, what was the Digital Ham conference we had before COVID hit?
You're gonna have to put the mic a little closer.
That better?
Yeah.
Okay. They had available from the West Valley City, West Valley Amateur Radio Club, a modem for $50. Now, many of you probably remember Camptronics or Advanced Electronics. I had those, but they are outfitted with all interface. The computer had an RS-232 interface, not a USB port. They're still in my box. I haven't used them, but I finally got around to putting this together. At $50, I thought that was a good deal. And I don't know if the West Valley Club still has many of these kits left over. So, but I put it together and started to try to use plastic. Now my question that I had in mind is, could I run Vera over this PNC?
I'm not sure. I have to look at the specs on it.
Because, okay, because I'm looking at your sound card interface or whatever. But now, the next thing that happened is I got the modem again, I need some software to drive it. So I went to WinLink. I'm still missing lots of hair up on top because I can't get all my WinLink functions to work. But I have been able to drive this with a little handheld radio, taking the antenna off, hooking up to my J-pole. 8 watts in Layton, I've been able to hit node in Salt Lake. So I thought that was pretty good. It's all tied, of course, to the antenna and the ability to get the maximum amount out of the 8 watts. This is the typical interface. I've also got a similar interface that goes to a bigger radio. There's some indication lights on it so you can see whether it's on, whether it's transmitting, whether it's receiving. And you can monitor your radio also to see that happening. So I've been playing around with the packet, really for the interest of what can I do with it under emergency mode, because if you send a packet, you're more in the digital mode, my hearing is gone. See, digital, I can read, I can still read, and get digital messages. This would be one way with more complexity, of course. You have more equipment to mess with. You have a laptop, you have the modem, you have the radio. Probably need some generation or a good battery bank like you have here to hold up under an emergency mode. So you can send message digitally, and then you have a paper copy or hard record as opposed to when you work with voice. Once you said it, all you can say is say again. If you're not clear on what you've heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Show me up there.
I do.
Uh-oh.
We'll take Hall up here anytime.
How many of you have Android phones? How many of you know that in an Android phone there's usually a buried app for an FM radio?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? How many of you have used it?
Sure.
Okay, most of the time they recommend that you tie a headphone to it to provide the antenna. Okay, I was messing around the other day. I don't like having the, if I'm going to use the FM radio, I want to set it on the table or something and just have it work. Rather than being tied to a headphone that I don't really need. So playing around, here's a process that is nothing more than a fun thing, but this is an old TV rabbit ear antenna. Okay, one side of a rabbit ear antenna. They want you to plug the the headphone jack into the headphone jack. Well, what actually works now? This building is an RF tube. Nothing comes into it at all. So I was hoping to get like KSL, which is probably FM, which is probably one of the stronger stations, and it's not hearing anything except just noise. So, but at this point, this is nothing more than a bare wire shoved up into the hole. All it is capacitively coupled.
Classic.
So, here you go. There's your antenna. That's it. So, just a fun one.
That's awesome. Thank you all. Anyone else have anything to show off? Anybody? Otherwise, we have to get to the horrible part, which is, raffle ticket stuff. All right, I guess we're there.
We're there.
We're there. All right, so I'm going on record right now. This stuff is not part of the raffle. The stuff in the box is part of the raffle.
The orange box?
No, not the orange box.
Good try.
Not the orange box. We've also got here just this stuff, okay? Not this stuff.
You're no fun, Larry.
I know, I'm no fun. That's because I'm taking that box home with me.
Nobody asked me how much this cost.
$2,000.
How much?
$1,000.
$1,000.
You can put $1,000 in a box, just so easy.
All right, so let's do the.
Check or credit card?
All right, are we ready? We've got some books, we've got all kinds of great stuff. You want to pull a ticket for me?
I'll do anything you want.
I'm getting the box today.
K7 SJI.
SJI.
SJ or SG?
SGI.
SG. Awesome.
Take what you want, let's get another one, let's get another one, yeah, let's
Go ahead
go.
and pull a ticket.
These guys are getting tired, they wanna go home and take a nap. Nap time in about an hour.
All right, what do you got?
KA7JAZ.
JAZ?
Larry White.
There we go. Come on up.
I need these tickets in case the sheriff asks us if we took a roll.
This is.
Yep. Pull a ticket. All right, what does it say? DHO. Dave. All right, go ahead and pick something out there.
Should I run down and say?
Oh, please do. Yes, the price is right. Go ahead and pull up. All right, what do we got?
KJ7 TVH.
TVH. Excellent.
This is Rick, they're all coming from that corner.
Hey, that could mean that in the envelope is this side. Go ahead and pull that ticket for us. D&D.
You're kidding me.
No.
Take the orange box.
That's kinda cool. That means I don't get the radio, doesn't it? Nick.
Nick.
Helps when they write their name beside.
No, I just know him personally. He is. It's funny, I know everybody's name and first name and call sign.
KK7 EHK.
BHK?
Just hope you don't get called, because your name could be in the radio.
BHK, yeah, bravo.
Right.
And here I was feeling bad, I didn't get a chance to do it.
Go ahead and take it. If you want the bunches, you can have them.
No, he's talking about the box.
Oh, the box. No, you can't have a box.
Looks like KV7LC.
That's me. I didn't win the radio either.
I didn't win the radio.
I'm thinking what I want for my kid.
Really?
All right. All right, now I have to take it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I'll look at it.
KK7AYD. Jim, come on up. Whoop.
Drop me.
K5HMY. Let's,
Doug.
Doug.
Excellent, go ahead and give that.
Okay.
Down. KJ7 LAV.
LDW.
Ah,
LDW.
that's me.
Oh, excellent.
Hey.
Come on up.
That's
You like Mike?
2 times in a row.
Okay. Been here twice, got 2 prizes. What a
Grab a ticket
guy.
for us.
Yes. KG7JXG.
Excellent.
it's rigged for bountiful emergency.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Gracie.
Awesome, grab a ticket for us.
Well, somebody from the bottom here. Maybe we'll get the
Somebody
other
did put
side.
these over here.
Oh, wait a sec.
KK7 AFI.
AFI?
Oh, now you put out the good stuff.
Well, I didn't realize it. Okay.
Now
The
you put
famous
out the good
Merce.
stuff.
A1 DJM. DJM. Excellent.
Yeah, there's the MERS. I don't think there's anything else over here.
Is this Matthew with a telephone number?
Yeah.
Excellent. Come on up.
This guy's. Hang on.
Here you go. Go ahead and pull a ticket. What do you got?
A7RH.
RH? Come on up. All right. All right, we're getting closer to the end of here, guys. We got books, we got Immerse, we got stuff.
KA7 RED.
RED, rad. Mr. Clyde.
The MERS.
I'll take it.
That's a treasured item. Thanks, Alan.
And don't forget, we've got some books over here too. Go ahead and pull something.
Oh, it's me again.
No, it's not.
AC7 RAF.
RAF.
Oh.
That might be a.
Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a head.
Sure, that's, go right ahead.
I don't know that I made an antenna.
KG7 UD.
Yeah, that must be Scott. KG7UD? Is it UD, Scott? Yeah, there we go. Let me set.
Thank you, Paul. See what we got. You know what I mean? It's down to slim pickings. Okay, only me and Manny
Okay. N5, JLE, Paul. Excellent. All right, let's see what we got left. We've got 2 books, a CD-ROM, a couple of other things. Go ahead and pull a ticket for me. Okay. KC7RAG.
Oh, Matt said.
I love it.
That would have been funny, had all pictures.
That's awesome. Alan, KB7YSP. Flying. Other side.
Yep.
WB7TJI. Excellent. There you go.
There you go.
We're almost there. All right, so we've got a couple of things left.
Both free tickets.
Go ahead and give me a ticket. All right, we've got N7CEM. CEM. He left. Pull another ticket.
Gotta go, gotta go.
Go ahead and pull another ticket for us. Gary. Oh, we've got
3.
We've got 2 out. We've got 3 things left, so we'll go for it. Because that's the way we run. KN0GLL. GLL. Come on up. NM7P. No. Gone. KJ7VRM. Excellent. And I think we should have like one more.
What is it?
Okay.
Thank you.
AJ 7TM. Excellent.
Last one.
All right. Perfect.
You get the box.
I get the box.
No, the box. All right. Perfect. All right. So now here we go.
No weeds this year?
All right. So now we've got a couple of radios and a beautiful quilt coming up. All right.
Alan, would you tell Karen to come in? She wanted to know who she did the duty.
All right.
Drum roll.
All right. So here we go. That's how they roll out. For the quilt. You want to open it up? It's got your DNA on it.
KC7 ZQS.
ZQS.
All right. Beautiful quilt.
Beautiful.
Donated by Ann Blankenship. Your wife will love you when you get home.
All right. An FT70 TR. I saw the D not confused.
One of the youth.
KJ7 KAY.
KAY.
Hey, there you
And last but not least. Okay. Thank you. See, people do laugh at my dumb jokes.
And it's yours.
Let's give it a hand. Wonderful. Well, with that, I want to thank you all for a wonderful 2021. We're looking forward to 22. Lots of great things happening. Feel free to buy more stuff over at the store. Talk for a few minutes. Ask all kinds of questions on this stuff. And with that, we will see you next year.
People for the questions on the pie and.
So if you have any expertise on antennas or pies, don't forget to come on up and we'll get that Elmer connected with the people that need help.